Hello, ESCToday. This is Sergio from the ABBA Museum in Stockholm. And today we bring you an exclusive interview with Ingmarie, the head of the museum and curator of the ABBA Museum here in Stockholm. Hi, good evening.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you doing?
I'm fine, really. Winter is over, spring is here, Eurovision in ahead of us, and everything is coming on nicely.
Well, I wanted to ask you, how did this idea of the ABBA Museum come about? I mean, when did you have this idea and how was it created and how was it implemented?
Well, first of all, it started back in 2005 or 6, I think, with a couple who came up with this idea to do the museum. And they asked Benny and Björn, and finally they said yes after saying no a couple of times. And then they started building it, but they never got to open it. So it was new owners. They employed me, and we started building this, what we have here now.
When was it? When was it released? When was it opened? I mean,
this house, as it is now, with the museum, opened in May 13.
This year?
3 years.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, good. When people are going to come to Stockholm for the Eurovision Song Contest, what would you like them to see over here in the ABBA Museum? What are the highlights you would recommend?
Well, the actual ABBA Museum is very true to the story. You walk in the footpaths of the group members. You see their everyday life as an ABBA. The recording studio and the office with Stickan Anderson, and how it looked in the dressing room backstage on tour and things like that. And adding to that is a lot of interactives, which makes it a nice balance between the old way to tell a story and the new way.
ABBA won Eurovision Song Contest in Brighton in 1974. Okay, it was the first Swedish win of many, 6 Eurovision victories of Sweden. And it was also a turning point for the Eurovision Song Contest, because before the song which was so up-tempo and such a fast number with like flashy clothes hadn't ever won. It was just songs, What does it mean to you as a Swede and for the country to present this museum to the world? Also as a showcase of the first Eurovision winners for Sweden.
Well, obviously it's great, because what we know is all these years until 2012 there hasn't been any ABBA Museum, and all our tourists that comes to Stockholm has asked for it. So now it's here, so obviously it feels really, really good. And also I think it's nice to tell a story about how these people came about in their career, because it's a big difference between today, because now it's a quick fix quite often. You get a song and you stand up and you sing it, and maybe your career is just going downhills afterwards. I think it's nice to tell a story where 4 people really struggled quite hard for their fame and success.
And have any of the ABBA members come here? Have you been in contact with them in order to work on what you're showcasing here and the attractions included here?
Absolutely. I worked with them on tour back in the 70s, helping them with makeup and costumes. So I know them quite well, and I can always call and ask if I'm unsecure in certain matters, because these are 4 living persons, and I want them to be really comfortable with what we have in the house and how the story is told, because it's their story. We're just telling it. But they have been really nice to cooperate with. I can call and ask, and I get a proper answer.
Taking into account that they're world famous, they had international acclaim, and not only 1 or 2 generations, all different young people and people who were born after they won the Eurovision Song Contest are following them. What kind of age groups do you get over here?
In the museum, you mean? Well, from the beginning, we thought it should be a lot of people in their 40s and 50s, but it's not. It's due to, of course, Mamma Mia the movie. So many young persons. So I guess we have a span between 7 and 70, and it's men and women equal.
What are the different features and what are the premises offering the people who are coming to the museum? Could you tell us more about it and give us a quick guideline, please?
Yeah, absolutely. We have the museum with the ABBA story, which is the main part of the basement. And then we have the Swedish Music Hall of Fame, which inaugurates 9 or 10 people every year that are chosen from a jury in a Hall of Fame manner from the world today. And then we have the Swedish music popular history. No, the Swedish popular music history, sorry, long word, where we talk about old Swedish music and music from today. And then we have a hotel, 49 rooms, really good, nice boutique hotel, and a good restaurant, good kitchen, nice bar, and a nice shop. What else do you need?
Well, if you're into ABBA, you're in for a treat over here, aren't you?
Absolutely. I mean, we have been open for 3 years, and we have had close to 1 million visitors in 3 years, which crazy much. And 70% of them is from abroad. So it's really, we just nailed it.
I know. So to conclude, Eurovision Song Contest is coming to Sweden for the 6th time. What does it mean to you that you're going to be hosting the Eurovision here in Stockholm for the 3rd time? And it's going to be one of the biggest Eurovision celebrations.
Of course it means a lot for the city. The city is happy. I mean, it costs a lot, but what you get back in goodwill and the talk on the town is worth a lot. So I think everyone is happy for it, and we will just make it as good as we can. I hope Stockholm will show its best side.
Thank you very much indeed. Have a very good evening.
And welcome to Stockholm.